in relationship to Denny Hamlin. He's opened up a 7/10 of a second lead over Kurt Busch. Edwards is just a little bit further back. Denny Hamlin, it's the 5th race he's led here in the chase, and guess what? It's been all in the last 5. Any reason why he's the points leader?
The Toyota Fuel Mileage Minute with NASCAR Sprint Cup crew chief Greg Zipadelli. Brought to you by Toyota Trucks. Race number 9 in the chase takes us to Arizona, home of Phoenix International Raceway.
Phoenix is one of the fun racetracks, very unique. Each end, 1 and 2, is much different than 3 and 4. It's got a dogleg on the back stretch, so it's a place for a driver challenge. It's a flat 1-mile racetrack without a lot of grip. Get a lot of long green flag runs, it seems there, and it has been worn on fuel mileage many times. Tires will come into effect at times. A lot of it's to do with the weather. If it's really hot out, the racetrack doesn't have near the grip. Tires seem to be a little more important, and brakes, hard on brakes can be. It's not the easiest place to pass at. So anytime you can do anything to get track position, put yourself in a good spot at the end of the day, it usually works out.
Brought to you by Toyota Trucks. Toyota's been making trucks for over 70 years.
If you take a look at the number 1 here at Phoenix International Raceway, you can see damage on the back deck. It looks like McMurray has hit the wall. We don't know exactly where. We were looking all over the tape room, but no actual visual of how he made that contact. And oh, all of a sudden, way to go, tape. We just got the word that they have found it. Let's go back and show you exactly what happened.
It's coming off turn 2.
Right in front of the 48. Let's get his view. Oh, man, that hurts. Vince, give us more.
Well, and what's really disappointing is that they made 0 changes on their first stop. Jamie McMurray had really liked his car in that first stint, but after the pit stop, they made contact with the wall, as you saw. Let's get a rundown on the damage from the 1.
I got a tire going down first the wall. Look at it next time by. Can't knock the spoiler down or something. I can't drive it.
There's the damage from Jamie McMurray, and we'll get more on that from Tim Brewer in the Craftsman Tech Garage. Tim?
Hey guys, this is a straight line right here, the wall. This is the margin of error. You got about 2 fingers right here. So when you bounce off that wall and cave that sheet metal in, it rips the spoiler off. But look how the bracket is mounted to the car. It's welded in this area right here, but it's held by a 1/4-inch bolt. But still yet, it tore the bracket loose right here. And what they're going to have to do is affix the back of the spoiler back to the deck lid, probably putting some washers on it. But right here in this area, I'd say somebody's going to weld something right there or put a cap over here with a few rivets, get him back in action, because you got to have that rear spoiler to get around this racetrack. Marty?
Well, McMurray is back into the 29th position, and you can see he's dropping even more spots as cars continue to work their way around him, and he's in jeopardy of eventually going a lap down unless they get a yellow here. So a tough break for a man who started the season at Daytona so well, capped it of course with Brickyard 400, has had a big turnaround season, not so good here today at Phoenix. Check in on the battle for second. It's not that tight right now. Kurt Busch has a 2/10 of a second lead over Carl Edwards, but a big day for Kurt because the last few races in that Blue Deuce, as we mentioned, they have been struggling mightily. You can see the margin back from Denny Hamlin. That's 2 seconds to Kurt. And then 3rd place Carl Edwards, Martin Truex Jr. running 4th, and Tony Stewart has moved up into the 5th spot. You want to talk about somebody on the move? Take a look at the 31 car. Started 40th. Jeff Burton is up to 17th.
We see him all the time on this graphic where he has gained like the most spots or close to the most spots in a race. I'm not sure if that's how good he races or how bad he qualifies, that we see that a lot.
He's putting the pressure on Regan Smith right now. On the right side is the battle for 8th between Matt Kenseth and Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, looks like they made some good adjustments on Jimmy Johnson's car. Got himself up into the top 10, now taking that 8th spot away, Matt Kenseth. Yeah, his car has come to life. I've watched this monitor in lap times, and he's had some of the fastest lap times on the racetrack lately.
Let's get an update on Jeff Burton. How about it, Doc?
You guys are laughing about how far back, or sort of joking about how far back Jeff Burton starts. He does as well. Todd Berrier said we wouldn't know any different coming here. We've always qualified poorly here, but we always run well. We know we got a car that can win the race. Our problem is going to be getting there from 40th starting position. In this race last fall, Jeff Burton started 36th and finished second only because he had an issue on pit road late. He almost won it then. They feel like they got a good car here today.
Yeah, I just think if he'd have qualified 35th, he'd have won, I guess.
Well, and as you see A.J. Allmendinger and Matt Kenseth going after each other, he put a period on Burton. Remember, back at Martinsville when he led 134 laps, ended up finishing 9th. Maybe we should have expected him to be moving to the front.
Yeah, and I guess he thought 36 wasn't enough of a challenge trying to get the back to 40 this time.
On board with Kevin Harvick as he now goes underneath the 17. This is for 10th. And remember, Harvick started 29th. And we reminded you yesterday, if you were with us, that yes, somebody has won from the 29th spot. Ricky Rudd did it. That's the deepest anyone's done it here at Phoenix back in 1995. But there's the man everybody's chasing, Denny Hamlin. His worst finish in the chase has been 12th. That was back at Kansas. We're at the Kobalt Tools 500 at Phoenix. You want to know why he's in the lead of the race and the chase? How about in 8 chase races, 7 top 10s, 4 of those in the top 5, and 2 of those victories. And right now he's trying to make victory number 3 in the chase right here, as he has got a 2.1 second lead over Kurt Busch, then Carl Edwards, Martin Truex Jr., and Tony Stewart. That's your top 5. This car is on a rail. Drop back a little bit further. Check in on the battle for 4th, because Martin Truex Jr. has his hands full right now, because here comes Tony Stewart. Remember, Truex wrecked hard yesterday in the Nationwide Series race. Running pretty good today, though, although he just got passed and bumped back to the 5th position.
Yeah, you talk about slick racetracks and things. You always think about Tony Stewart being successful. This is his kind of racetrack where you're really having to slide the car around, use the throttle, getting off the corner as much as anything, Dave.
And DJ, that characteristic is going to change. Word on the street is that this place will be paved following the April race next year. Tony knows about it. He's not that crazy about it just because he's been so successful here. 1 Cup win. He's won an open wheel here and used to be a tire tester in the IndyCar series. He's got thousands of laps here, knows this place very well. As crew chief Darian Grubb told me, knows every pebble on the pavement until next year sometime.
You know, the slicker a racetrack gets, the better this guy goes. I mean, he really is one of the very best on slick track.
As you can see by the number of laps we've put away already, we are approaching the 1/3 mark of the race here today at Phoenix International. Move back a little further in the field. The battle for 15th with Mark Martin, Joey Logano, and Jeff Burton. Mark Martin had himself a pretty good race car yesterday in the final practice. Been sort of surprised they haven't moved up a little further.
Well, he's been pretty steady. I watched his lap times here in the last 15-20 laps. They've been some of the fastest top 3 lap times on the board. He's coming to the front. Yeah, he was behind Jeff Burton a couple of cars and not quite a half a straightaway, but you see now he's passed Jeff Burton and Joey Logano, so he is headed in the right direction. Vince?
That's for sure. They were wicked loose with no grip in that first stint, so they weren't able to make up much ground, but it's getting better. He says the front end is turning a lot better, starting to come to him. Says he feels a lot better about it now, which is exactly how they felt going into the race. They were very confident that they'd have a race car that could contend for the win today. They've made a lot of strides recently. They've shuffled some spots in their staff. They've improved their engineering. They've made a couple of pit crew changes, built some better cars. Things are turning around for the 5 just in time.
And as you finish up, we focus the cameras on the battle for 6th on the right side. And here we go with, on the left side, the battle for 14th between Greg Biffle and Mark Martin. Caution is out. We've got debris on the racetrack. So all of a sudden here with our 3rd caution right at the 100 lap mark of the 312 scheduled under the beautiful sunshiny skies of Phoenix, and that's going to wipe out that 2.5 second lead that Denny Hamlin had. and tighten up the field once again. Total of 31 cars right now on the lead lap, and it looks like Jamie McMurray is going to be the lucky dog recipient. Give them a chance to fix some of that damage.
Yeah, he needed
back out there.
He needed to fix the car, and he gets the lucky dog on top of that. So big break for Jamie McMurray. It's going to be an opportunity now for these pit crews to show what they can do, try to gain some spots.